pivot tables are easy, but the hard part is having data that's ready to go into the pivot table. What does it take for data to be ready? So let's go through a few things. One, a contiguous data set. That means no empty rows, no empty columns. Everything is all just one big mass. When a person has data where you're trying to break things up, say you've got regions, you've got the north region and a blank row, and then the south region, blank row, northeast region, that creates problems for a pivot table. No, you got to get rid of all those blank rows. A column that has the headers that you might want in the pivot table. Again, regions. You need a regions column, not a regions section or region individual worksheets. No, a region column. It could be a monthly column where you just have the months listed instead of individual Excel worksheets. Anything that you would want to have data about, any way that you would want to divide the data. You might want to divide your data up by products that are in stock or out of stock. Divide the data by vendors. Divide data by the products and what vendor they come from. I did a project with a recreational marijuana store, and they needed a THC, non-THC distinction. So there you have a column. THC, yes, no, yes, no. That's it. Instead of two completely separate data sets. Also, your data has to have headers. So you need to have name, state, product, price, whatever it is, everything has to have a header on top. Thinking about those headers, those have to be the ways that you want to divide your data up. If it is by product, or product in stock or out of stock, THC, non-THC. Another reason that keeps data from being ready to go into a pivot table is when you start with a report. Those are the messiest types of things that you have to deal with, because those often have headers, things are indented, you've got logos, pictures, summaries, you might have data that's all in the same cell, an address, a building name, and the director's name. And maybe you need to peel out the director's name and you don't need the building name. Those are the messiest. So a lot of data cleansing really is about turning reports into raw data so that then you can get it into a pivot table. Maybe you don't want to put income and expenses all in one place. And maybe you don't want business expenses and personal expenses all in one data set. So there, yes, think about times when you do want your data separated and have a reason why you want it separated. So when you've got a lot of data that you know you want to look at several different ways, think about the fewest places where you can sweep all of that data together. Maybe you'll have an expense data set and an income data set. You'll have two instead of, say, 24 for 12 different months for each. They'll put two in a monthly column. If you're doing fantasy football, you might have your offense, defense, and special teams data in 3 separate pieces. And that would be considered your source data. Human being is not interested in source data, but Excel is. That's how Excel has to consume it. The human being can consume the pivoted data. And that's where we're going with this. There you go. there's a list of ways that data can be made ready to go into a pivot table so that you can get the best use from Excel. All right? All right.